So let's confirm that final showdown on Saturday for you. Iga Swiatek, world number 1, and on a run of 34 straight wins against a precocious teenager who is delivering on the promise that saw her marked out for greatness when she beat Venus Williams in the first round of Wimbledon 2019. A win for Swiatek will see her tie Venus's record for most consecutive match wins this century. Enrico Piperno still with us. Enrico, when that draw came out, I'm not sure we were expecting a Swiatek Gauff women's finals. You would sort of fancy Swiatek being there, but not Gauff. But to her credit, she hasn't dropped a set so far.
Well, Diggy, Coco Gauff came on the scene a couple of years ago, and right off the bat, you could see that she had the tools to become a superstar in tennis. She was only 16 at the time. She seemed to have had a head which was a lot more mature than a 16-year-old. And Coco Gauff is one of those players who, who doesn't get beat on the court. She gets out there, she keeps a lot of balls in play. She's very, very solid. And to beat her, you've got to really, really beat her. She's not going to beat herself. So from the point of view of the experience of not playing a Grand Slam final, being in there for the first time is something that certainly doesn't go down well with Gauff. She seems a lot relaxed. She's been playing the tennis of her life. And like I said, she has the tools to win a Grand Slam. She's very solid off the ground. And if Swiatek has had this amazing streak, 34 matches, looking for the 35th, so she'll have to have a down sometime. Sometime it'll have to catch up with her. Is it going to be tomorrow? That's $1 million question. But definitely, I think it'll be a very interesting final. I think Coco Gauff is not going to go lie down that easily. Swiatek is going to have her hands full.
Also, Rico, Gauff is the youngest Grand Slam finalist since Maria Sharapova at Wimbledon 2004. You could say you're expecting some deja vu because no one expected Sharapova to beat Serena Williams back then. And that's the situation we find ourselves here in this women's singles final. And when you have youth on the other side, it's mostly fearless.
Yes, she's going to be fearless out there, and I've seen even the semifinals yesterday, she played some of the big points awfully well. So she's definitely a big point player. She's definitely a big match player. And, people like this, talents like this really, raise the bar when they get into these sort of situations. So I believe Coco Gauff is going to be a very, very serious tennis player going forward. She's one of the best talents I've seen in a very long time on the women's circuit. And so let's keep our fingers crossed. At the end of the day, we want people like Coco Gauff to come through. Women's tennis definitely need a superstar. Emily Moresmo has made a comment that she couldn't really put too many women's matches on the night sessions. And she was absolutely right. At the end of the day, you've got to get the crowds to come and want to watch you. So let's hope that Coco Gauff is that big name that people want to come and watch going forward.
Yes, Moresmo had to, in fact, apologize for those comments late last night. But just going back to something I asked you at the beginning of this conversation, I'm going to reference the Nadal question here as well. Is this Iga Swiatek's title to lose, Enrico?
She's in the form of her life. She's stroking the ball unbelievably well from the back. And she's the winner of the French Open. So she's been there, done that. And really, she's one of those real, wonderful women tennis players to watch. She has it all, She's got that complete game, great transition between going from the baseline to the net, volleys adequately well. So I think she's a very, very exciting young woman and a very exciting young woman to watch.
Rico, you spent a fair time in the sport. I've sort of tracked it closely for a while, but I must confess that I have never seen a player suddenly go from being a top 10 player to dominating the sport like we've seen Swiatek over the past 4 or 5 months. It's been special. 34 matches unbeaten.
Yes, I tend to agree with you. I'm as surprised as you are. I really don't know what happened post-Miami, because from the time Ash Barty announced her retirement, it's only been a one-horse race. Every tournament she's played, she's won convincingly. 34 matches at this stage of, at this level is quite an incredible feat. So what little that she added to her game, I've not really seen it. I saw her win the French Open a couple of years ago. She looked good, but then after that, she was struggling a little bit with her form. Maybe she just got something in her head right. There's some small minor change that a coach has made in some part of her game that has given her that confidence. But at the moment, she's beaming with confidence. You can see it on the court. By the time she steps out there, she's a winner, because just the way she's been stroking the ball, hitting the ball, and, playing the big points so well. The key is to play the big points well, and all these big players do that so awesomely well.
Okay, so you said that Coco Gauff makes you really have to go at her to beat her. Iga Swiatek's on this great run. So where do you think this final is going to be won?
My heart tells me it's going to be Iga Swiatek in probably straight sets. But I'm hoping, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, women's tennis needs a Coco Gauff. It needs a superstar in the making. Coco Gauff seems to have those sort of tendencies. So fingers crossed she puts up a great show. But I think Swiatek is a very, very, very warm favorite to win this women's singles at Roland Garros.
Okay, Enrico Piperno, let's see if your crystal ball gazing does come good. Thanks as always for your time and analysis. Hope you have a great weekend of tennis viewing. Make those notes. We'll come back to you at the end of the French Open on Monday.
Thanks, Diggy. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.